Imagine living in a nation where the tangible wealth behind your paper money, the shiny gold backing every dollar, is suddenly ripped away. It's 1933, the depths of the Great Depression, and the U.S. government quietly orders citizens to hand over their gold. Banks are failing, factories shuttering, and New Deal policies scramble to stabilize an economy on life support. But what happened to that gold? Decades later, the vaults at Fort Knox, rumored to hold over 147 million ounces, have never been fully audited. Did America secretly sell, hide, or simply lose its most valuable asset? Today we pull back the curtain on the greatest gold cover-up in modern history. Hold up! If uncovering financial mysteries is your jam, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next treasure hunt. Found this peek behind the vault intriguing? Give us a like and share with fellow truth seekers. The year is 1933. The United States is in the grip of the Great Depression. What happened to America's gold reserves? Why has the government, for decades, refused to answer questions about it? Could it be that the nation's most valuable asset is being hidden from the public eye, safeguarded by powerful individuals who have kept the truth buried deep in the shadows? That chilling mystery sets our stage, one that begins with Executive Order 6102 and ends in whispered rumors of empty vaults. Before 1933, every US dollar in your pocket was directly backed by gold. Under the classical gold standard, Americans could theoretically exchange paper money for gold at $20.67 per ounce, a promise of stability and global trust, mining.com. Yet as the Depression deepened, gold began draining from U.S. Treasury vaults. Between 1929 and 1933, foreign governments and private investors withdrew over 2,000 metric tons, equivalent to roughly 64 million troy ounces, sparking panic in Washington, U.S. Department of Defense. To prevent a full collapse, President Franklin D. Roosevelt issued Executive Order 6102 on April 5, 1933, making it illegal for U.S. citizens to hoard gold. By May 1st, Americans were compelled to turn in gold coins, bullion, and certificates, receiving paper dollars in return. Rather than bank runs, this drastic measure funneled roughly 400 million ounces, some 12,500 metric tons, into federal coffers within weeks, shoring up reserves and halting the outflow, mining.com. The following year, the Gold Confiscation Act, Monetary Recovery Act of 1934, formally revalued U.S. gold from $20.67 to $35 per ounce, effectively devaluing the dollar and inflating the money supply to combat deflationary pressures, Mises Institute. This revaluation benefited the Treasury by adding nearly $650 million overnight to its balance sheet, financing New Deal programs from WPA projects to Social Security. Officially, all surrendered gold was stored in government vaults to back the dollar and provide economic stability. Yet no comprehensive independent audit of these holdings has ever been released. While partial checks occurred until 1986, the public has never seen a full inventory, leaving open the question: was any gold sold off quietly to bankroll wartime spending or repatriate funds abroad under classified agreements? Fort Knox, Kentucky, opened in 1936 to protect the newly centralized reserves. Today, it still officially holds 147.3 million troy ounces, about 4,580 metric tons, valued at roughly $425 billion New York Post. That's nearly 370,000 gold bars behind reinforced vault doors, guarded by U.S. Mint Police and U.S. Army units. Yet from 1974 to 1986, the so-called continuing audits only verified 97% of holdings by examining seals on vault compartments. No individual bar counts, no weight verifications. Mining.com. A FOIA request revealed that 7 audit reports from that period are missing, and post-1986 there have been no public audits at all. Mining.com. More recently, in 2025, Senator Rand Paul publicly urged Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, to conduct a full audit, sparking headlines about Musk cracking open Fort Knox to verify the 4,580 tons of gold. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent insists annual internal reviews confirm the bars are there, but only a handful of officials, including Steve Mnuchin in 2017, have ever seen the vaults. The rest remains shrouded in secrecy. New York Post-Zero News 52. While Fort Knox dominates the narrative, the Federal Reserve itself holds about 13 million ounces of gold, mostly in New York's Federal Reserve Bank vault beneath Wall Street. This stash, used for intercentral bank swaps and to instill confidence in the dollar abroad, has its own shroud of opacity. No full public audit has ever occurred, and the Fed's annual reports list gold at historic book values, not current market prices, masking its true worth. In the late 1960s, under pressure from global dollar redemptions, reports suggest the Fed secretly shipped portions overseas, to vaults in London and Zurich, to reassure international partners. Those movements remain buried in classified memos, and no independent trace has been made public. Critics argue that if any bullion went missing during these transfers, the Fed's balance sheets would never reveal the shortfall ainsleyBullion.com.au. When President Nixon ended dollar-gold convertibility in 1971, the U.S. dollar officially became fiat, trusted by faith in government rather than metal backing. Abroad, central banks scrambled to accumulate hard assets. Russia and China each added over 2,000 tons of gold between 2000 and 2020. India acquired over 700 tons in that span. These hoards reflect deepening skepticism in unbacked currencies and distrust of U.S. monetary leadership. Without full transparency on American reserves, global partners wonder, could the U.S. still defend a gold-backed commitment? Or is the country's true bullion stash a myth propped up to maintain dollar hegemony? Wherever there's secrecy, theories flourish. Some claim FDR secretly sold gold to European powers on the eve of World War II. Others allege post-1973 administrations shipped bars to Southeast Asia under covert CIA operations. Libertarians point to missing audit reports as evidence of an inside job to divert bullion into private vaults or fund Black Ops notes on the crises. More recently, pundits have speculated that a revaluation, from the old $42 per ounce book rate to today's $3,000 per ounce market rate, could net the Treasury $750 billion, enough to postpone debt ceiling debates or seed a sovereign wealth fund, if the gold truly exists in those quantities. Market Watch. Frustration over the golden veil has sparked action. In 2025, over 30 U.S. states introduced sound money resolutions demanding a full gold audit, including holdings at Fort Knox, West Point, and the Fed Discovery Alert. Senator Rand Paul's proposal to grant Elon Musk's DOGE audit authority, though stalled, marked a rare bipartisan moment on fiscal transparency, thenationaldesk.com. On the tech front, blockchain advocates suggest a decentralized audit, cryptographic proofs verifying bar serial numbers against a public ledger, visible in real time. The block reported that a pilot with a mid-sized European central bank showed immutable records increased trust without revealing operational details. TheBlock.co. Could this approach finally crack open America's vaults? Beyond bullion bars and balance sheets lie profound stakes. For everyday Americans, gold still symbolizes security against runaway inflation and unchecked money printing. For global policymakers, gold reserves remain a bargaining chip in IMF quotas and currency swap lines. If U.S. gold was secretly liquidated or stolen, America's negotiating leverage could be gravely weakened. The saga also resonates in today's era of quantitative easing and soaring national debt. Critics point back to 1933 as the genesis of fiat manipulation, warning we face a new paper dollar trap without tangible backing. Until transparent audits occur, the golden cover-up will persist as a cautionary tale about power, trust, and the hidden cost of secrecy. America's missing gold is more than a historical footnote. It's a mirror reflecting our trust in institutions, currencies, and the rule of law. From FDR's bold confiscation to Nixon's fiat revolution, and the silent corridors of Fort Knox and the Fed vaults, the saga spans nearly a century of secrecy, policy, and speculation. The bars may still glint behind armored doors, or they may be gone, sold piece by piece. Until open, credible audits occur, the gold cover-up endures as the greatest financial mystery of modern times. What do you believe happened to America's gold? Share your theories below. Hit like if you crave more deep dives into monetary mysteries, and subscribe to join the hunt for the world's most guarded secrets.